along virtual photo walks.
Hi there, good morning everyone. Thanks for joining us here again with Virtual Photowalks. My name is Dominic Phillips and I'm at the Wonderland Lake Trail and Park area here in Boulder, Colorado. It is a chilly morning this morning and we have a little bit of the sun is fighting to get out, but I think we're going to have a beautiful little walk today. Again, we are here for you, so anything that you want to see, if you want to stop and take a look at anything, just let me know, because we are here for you today. On my walk up, we did pass a little bit of wildlife. Hopefully they are still hanging around. We have lots of hawks in this area. We also have coyotes, deer, quite a bit of local wildlife. And this area here is a wildlife preserve, so you'll be able to get to see a little bit of the natural landscape of the foothills, and maybe just learn a little bit of history about this area and how it came to be since the late 1800s.
So whereabouts in Boulder, Colorado are you?
Well, we are in the northern part of Boulder. So at the southern part, once we get a little bit further away, you'll see the foothills off in the distance. Okay. So we are just at the north edge, and this is kind of my stomping grounds in the Boulder area. We have a lot of houses here in the Wonderland Hills area, but then we have a whole bunch of other little neighborhoods that are just in this area.
Nice.
This area has been, again, taken as a nature preserve, but it was originally provided for irrigation for farmland in this area. And over the past couple hundred years, things have changed just a little bit.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera around here and let you guys see a little bit of what I'm seeing here.
Find some elk. Find some black bear. Come on.
Have you seen any elk?
Oh, look at that.
I haven't seen any elk here. We do actually get some elk that come down into the area.
Mm-hmm.
But most of the elk are going to be staying up in the high country. In fact, up in Estes Park. Exactly, yeah. They have, very big elk up there, and there's about 3 or 4 major herds that actually hang out within the city limits of Estes Park.
Yes.
And that's a location that hopefully we'll get back to here. We did a little walk from that last year.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Years ago, I went to Colorado, and I saw a bunch of elk just roaming around in the city, and it was so neat to see.
They are magnificent. What we do have down here, and we have quite a lot of them, are mule deer, and which is just a variety of deer, and they're named mule deer because they have huge ears. So whereas all the other, areas of the country, they have some whitetail, which are nice and petite. Ours look like they have big donkey ears on them. I lived in a house that was right there, and we would have a dozen or 2 dozen mule deer in the morning that would, good morning, that would come down, and our dogs became very good friends with the dog catcher. Because they would run off and chase the deer for miles and miles. Now again, I'll hop from spot to spot, and then we will, sit down for a couple minutes in each spot and take a look. But any questions, I'll do my best to give you the information I know. Or if I see any neat wildlife reviews, we will stop and see what we can see.
Do you have questions for him? What's the name of the nature preserve?
Well, this is the Wonderland Park. So it's the Wonderland Lake, which is this this frozen bit in front of us, which we have some ice fishers out on. And this is just one, one of the natural preserves that's along a line here in the foothills. And thankfully, we have a good amount of preserved area in Boulder. We have something called the Green Belt, which is a belt, and it's only about a half mile to a mile wide in places, but in a full circle around the city, cannot be developed on. And hopefully throughout this year we'll be able to pop around and show you a couple different areas here in Colorado.
Thanks. I have a question. What is the temperature down there in Colorado?
Well, the temperature in Colorado, this morning, I'm thinking it's probably approaching 40 degrees by now, maybe. We were told it was going to be a high of about 48 today, and that's a big break from some of the weather that we've had recently.
Does anybody want to tell them what the temperature was this morning here in Buffalo?
It was 0 degrees here. Ooh.
It was negative 12 on ground.
0 degrees.
In Amherst, where I'm from.
Yeah.
I have a question for you. Colorado has a lot of avalanches. How many avalanches do they have a year?
Of snow?
Well, I'm not exactly sure how many avalanches we have per year. I know that, once you get up into the mountains, that is where the avalanche danger happens. In fact, I did just hear about one that was up in the Keystone area, which is a ski resort up in the area. A lot of the areas, we have so much backcountry mountains where a lot of that happens. But a lot of the areas where we do have roads, a lot of the crews really try to do a good job of they will actually cause avalanches to happen before things get too dangerous. So it's almost like they clear everything.
Thank you very much for answering that question.
Absolutely.
How many inches of snow is in?
There it goes.
Oh, Heather's here. Buffalo's here.
Hi, Heather.
Hey.
Heather's from our Buffalo Tech Today group.
Oh, hi, Heather.
I have, he's blind. I have, if you want to pass the iPad around,
How are you?
At the Google Maps of Wonderland Lake, and I think you can see the little path he's walking on right now. You guys want to pass the iPad around? Yeah, that's why I asked. I wanted to go Wonderland.
There he is.
Here. There we go. Yeah, like I said, unfortunately, we are in the foothills, so if I do drop out, I will hopefully be back within moments here. So this is a scene that we only get occasionally here in Boulder, because we do have quite a bit of sun and warm weather out here. But we do have some ice fishermen out here in the distance. I actually brought some special tread to put on my shoes. So once we get around the lake, I think we will go ahead and get out there on the ice and see if anyone's catching anything.
You can see if they're catching anything on their lap. Have you guys ever been ice fishing?
No.
No. So we're going to get to see what it's
Sure.
How much snow is down there?
Down here, we probably there's about 6 inches of snow still left out here in the grassland. A lot of the trails around here, because as you see when we go around, there are going to be quite a lot of people out with their dogs, out jogging, and there is a lot of ice that has been packed down around some of the outside trails. So we will be careful as we are popping around here. A lot of the trails themselves are pretty good as far as being cleared with snow, and Boulder, we're somewhat used to this. Maybe not quite as used to the weather as you guys are up in Buffalo, but it takes quite a lot to stop a lot of the boulderites from getting out and about in weather like this. Part of the wetlands nature preserve here, so we have quite a lot of shorebirds that will nest in this area. So this area in front of us is off limits to foot traffic, but once we get over the edge of the berm here, we'll be able to explore a little bit down near the lake, and again we'll try and get on the lake and over to the fishermen there. See some lucky individuals here that live right on the lake. So this is just a one of the little gems in the city of Boulder. Well, right up here we have a little squirrel's nest up there, and down at the parking lot, which is about maybe a quarter mile away from here, a number of birds nest, and I did see a couple of hawks on our way here. So hopefully we will see if those hawks are still hanging out in their trees. But this is a good morning hunt time for them for a good campaign to keep the trash out of the bear's reach, because that's for them, you know, we don't want the bears to be getting into the trash, because then that just creates further problems with them. And we have about, I think, 4 different bears up on our property that we see almost every year. So they're kind of our good neighbors, and you know, we want to continue to have a good relationship. Wonderland Lake is actually a man-made lake. Now this berm on here that forms the edge of Wonderland Lake, this, not necessarily this berm, but the lake itself was founded off of the ditch in 1907. There was a gentleman, and unfortunately I don't know his name, but he bought up hundreds and hundreds of acres, you know, up in North Boulder and heading north towards Lyons, you know, with the promise of irrigating it and providing good farmland. Well, as you know, many of you may know, water out here in the Mountain West is definitely one of our most precious resources. So when the water didn't show up as promised, that gentleman almost went belly up, like a lot of other water projects. Hardy ice fishermen out here this morning. I have to say, probably a bit hardier breed than myself.
When we'd go out, when the ice was thin in the spring, we'd have to we'd cut a cedar tree down and then cut out all the center branches and put it over our shoulder, so it'd be kind of like a dumbbell. And if you went through the ice, you'd have a way of pulling yourself back out. And I always thought the description of a dumbbell was pretty good, because going out on thin ice like that was about as dumb as you can get. Okay. Everybody wave. There's Dominic back there.
I promise I didn't fall through the ice.
We were worried there for a second there.
Yep, me too. So as we see, we have a lot of ice fishermen out. We have people running and jogging around, and just behind me here, I'm going to show you some of the sled tracks. I'm sure in Buffalo you guys are you know, probably full of pros in this, but I have since given up on sledding due to preservation. But we have here huge thing, and then looks like even a little jump here before they get down to the creek area. And we have a variety of hawks in the area. We have the red-tailed hawks, but in this area we have a lot of Cooper's hawks, which are a little bit more petite. In fact, they fool me and sometimes look like a kestrel or a juvenile hawk, and hopefully we'll see one or two of them actually way off in the distance to our left in the area that we're going. I do see one, and we'll see how close we can get to him. I don't think you guys can see him, but way out there up top, we have a little Cooper's hawk on top of that cottonwood tree, or ash tree, sorry.
We'll get him.
It is the unfortunate trade-off for trying to get everyone up into the foothills here. Now, off in the distance, just beyond this area, and why this area is sort of a hidden gem if you're not familiar with it, you might be able to see a little bit of motion out here, and that is Broadway, which is one of the two major north-south roads in Boulder. Eventually that, if we continue going left and north, that'll turn back into US 36 and head up towards Lyons, Colorado, which is an area that has made the national news, unfortunately, when we had a lot of the flooding issues that we had late in the year last year. 3.5 or 4 days time, we got 1 year's worth of rainfalls.
Oh, wow.
And while our house was okay, the roads were washed out. We were stuck up in the mountains for about 6 days. But I know some people in a canyon just a half a mile away that, are still, the canyon roads are still about 50% destroyed. And, a lot of property loss, is always a hardy adventure. No, I'm just trying to grab a couple photos of our hawk up in that tree.
I think we can see him as we get close. Top there.
Exactly. Yeah, he is just a little speck right there. And we will go ahead and try and move a little closer here on him. But one thing about these guys is that they are a little timid. You can walk underneath them all day long while they're in the trees, but if you give them a little attention and look their way, well, they know that, and normally they will they'll beat wings out of there. And we will see if we can get out under that little hawk here. Morning. So this guy, as we're getting closer to him, and I'm looking up at him, I'm not sure if he is a Cooper's hawk.
Did you want to ask about the fish, DJ?
Yeah. Dominic, how many kinds of fish do the ice fishermen fish for?
Gosh, unfortunately, I am not much of a fisherman. Don't exactly know how many different types of fish they have out here. Colorado often is known for fly fishing, and I know there's quite a lot of different trout out here, but not exactly sure what they keep stocked with here.
Yeah. Are you chasing those fishermen now, Dominic?
Yes. How about put a GoPro on you?
Oh, there they are.
One of the next things.
Yeah, why don't we go interview somebody, one of the fishermen?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
We did that with John when we were in our canoe ride.
Very nice.
No, we interviewed other people.
What kind of fish are you guys fishing? Bluegills and perch.
I thought you were serious.
I definitely know the fishing for bluegills, growing up in Kentucky. Not so much.
See if they've got any in that bucket, Dominic. I want to see a fish.
Can we put you up there, Teresa?
Gotcha.
Yeah. Do you have screens?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Any lucky at this morning?
Yeah, where?
Oh.
I think you took a photo of me.
No. Did you want to be on it? Say hi. You could just wave if you want. There's Jen.
Hi.
Hi, Jen. Do you want to be on? You want to say hi? Hi.
I think his feed comes and goes because don't forget he's outside. Oh, yeah.
Do you want to say hi?
Take your iPad out on the deck in the summer. Take your reception if you want.
Yeah, I'll go back and I'll.
Yeah.
There he is.
Here's your fisherman. Have they caught any fish?
There's our picture, guys.
We're back again. You know, as soon as it failed, a bluegill was caught, but we do see it looks like a little bluey popping around right here.
They caught a fish.
A bluegill.
Have you guys ever seen a bluegill?
No.
Would you guys ever go out and do ice fishing?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Would you think? What if it was really, some ice gets really thick that you could bring out your wheelchair? They could drive cars out on ice.
I still don't think I do.
You wouldn't do it.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it either.
You wouldn't do it. It'd be too. So this is a good way to do it, right? In the comfort of our own tech program.
I think it'd be too dangerous for the wheelchair people.
You think so?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't know if I would do it either.
We're gonna pop right over.
Oh, here we're getting closer.
Oh, it's a tiny fish. Do you guys see the fish? I'm waiting to see like a shark or a tuna.
Yeah, no tuna here.
Those are tiny. Those are just Yeah, he's still alive. Get the shovel.
Oh.
Or do you put him back?
Hooking them left and right.
I've never had that pressure.
Exactly. You know, not the biggest fish, but any type of fishing is fun.
Says a fisherman. Does anybody else like to fish here? Not necessarily ice fish, but just go fishing? Have you guys fished? Yeah?
Well, this is pretty cool to be able to take you guys fishing like this, so that's all right.
You catch anything big?
Absolutely. Thank you guys a lot. We're gonna continue on our way
Oh.
for the rest of Wonderland Lake. So we will say goodbye to our ice fishing.
Ray.
Our way back to shore here and slowly head towards the trailhead. Thanks a lot, guys. Good luck.
I don't think they should. We're the coolest thing happening in this virtual photo study.
Well, ice fishing is the first for us. That was cool.
Well, that is. Yeah, that was a very nice treat there. I'll give you just a nice little panoramic here of our Wonderland Lake area. I heard some of you guys might have gone and checked it out on a website. Google Maps is also a great way to get an idea of how this little gem of a lake is just tucked away up here in North Boulder.
Yeah, that is beautiful. I bet you it's beautiful in this summer and the fall.
300 per year on average.
300 what?
Sunny days.
Oh, 3. How many do we get? 3?
We're going to try and pop back over here. Yeah, now, I grew up, in Kentucky and Tennessee and much younger up in Michigan and Chicago area, so I definitely understand when winter turns into, 5 months of gray, and I just had no idea how spoiled I was going to be living in Colorado.
Did anybody know they have a high altitude there?
Yeah, this is
They
a
do.
altitude, yeah.
Yeah, you got to drink a lot of water there, believe me. You get dizzy. One time I was there, I had to drink a lot of stuff because I was so dizzy.
How about beer? You have to drink a lot of beer?
No, not back then.
Can we check it out on Google Hangout too?
Yes.
On the website? Is the snow really? Is the snow cold there, or is it really? Is it cold? Is it really?
Oh, gotcha. Yep. The big difference, having grown up out on the East Coast, compared to here, is that we do get what they call champagne powder out here, which
Champagne
we have a
powder.
very, very dry snow. Yes, it's whereas the snow back east tends to be very heavy. Well, the sun's just barely poking out here. We have, it's very dry snow, so it's very powdery. So instead of being very heavy and it gets very ice shelled, if you've ever seen photos of people that are snowboarding up in the mountains, you know, they'll be waist deep in powder and just kind of floating through it. It's quite a treat out here.
You know what? I never heard of champagne snow. I never heard of that.
Oh yeah. Yep. That's another one of our good secrets.
It's a good thing, but how you gonna have like champagne down there?
Yep.
It's light, bubbly, and airy.
Oh.
It's really not made out of champagne. If it was, I'd be there. I'd be an Olympic skier if it was.
Skier. Not me.
Not you.
Our ski resorts would be even more packed. Now, way off here in the background, this area, and again, hopefully this is an area that we will see in a future walk. We have Green Mountain, which has the 5 Flatirons on it.
Oh, neat.
And if there's a lot of photos of University of Colorado Boulder that show the Flatirons in the background, and they are just 5 huge vertical peaks that stick out of the mountains there. Is just right at the base of that. A lot of the college students get a great long view of the mountains here every day.
The mountains there.
Here, you can ask them.
How big are the mountains there?
Well, these peaks here, so to give you a point of reference, Boulder, Colorado sits at about 5,480 feet. That's why Denver is also called the Mile High City.
Mile High City?
As we move through these peaks and foothills, these are going to be up in the 6 to 8,000 feet. We go up to the Continental Divide. Colorado has more than a dozen mountains that are more than 14,000 feet tall.
Wow.
Good question.
So we call them the 14ers, and a lot of people, try to climb all of the 14,000 foot peaks in Colorado. We have one peak, Long's Peak, which is probably one of the easier. It has one easy route up the mountain, but a lot of them are going to be for professional and very practiced climbers only.
That's cool. Thank you. Any questions?
Anybody else have any questions?
Okay.
Sort of looks like a volcano with that cloud coming out of it, doesn't it?
It does a little bit there.
Sort of does.
You know,
information, but that's the next step.
You know, we had, I believe it was about 2 years ago, to go back to the unfortunate forest fires, lightning struck up on top of the Flatirons, and there was a fire up there that burned for about 4 or 5 days, and it definitely looked a lot like a volcano up there.
If you guys have any requests of virtual photo walks that you want to do, just let me know and tell Patty about it, and we'll see what we can do.
Anywhere. You know what? Somebody wanted to do a dog sled race. They wanted to go on a dog sled. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
In the snow? Alika. I know. What else do you guys think? Where else would you like to go?
But I think we've had a really good walk here today.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you guys for joining me, and I've been trying to take some pictures.
Well, we didn't know we were going to go ice fishing today, so that was good.
Great.
Bye-bye.
That was awesome.
Say bye, Dominic.
Thank you. Thank you all so much for joining us today. And we do have just a little, the sun's finally popping out here in Boulder. So I hope you guys all enjoy the rest of your day up in Buffalo and everywhere else where you guys are joining us from.
Thank you.
And
Thank you, Dominic. Thank you,
I will
John.
see you guys again soon.
Thanks, Patty, for helping us.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah,
I
thank
don't know
you.
what happened to Buffalo Tech, but yeah, it's great. So we'll look for the next adventures coming up.
Okay.
All
Okay,
right.
take care.
Bye.
Done.
Thank you guys. Have a good day.